Hey, what's up, guys? So, I thought it might be somewhat important for me to touch base on grow bags. And the reason why is because I'm doing the grow along, um, and I'm going to be teaching people how to start from scratch and make your genetics fruit well in a grow bag. First off, I'd like to say I'm not a mycologist. I don't claim to be. And the stuff that I'm going to say, as far as I know, isn't even backed by science. I base it off of experience and common sense, and it seems to work. So, in a way, this is my own experimentation that I know that works. Whether or not somebody else in a professional lab, right, in a real lab, doing peer-reviewed research, has mimicked it, I don't know. I have no idea, so I want to make that clear. So I want to say that just in case somebody or something or there's any type of conflict with the information that I'm giving versus what somebody else might already know. So yeah, I think it's important that I talk about this because this is what we're going to be going into depth we're going to be going into depth on this specific subject during the grow along. This is mainly what we're going to be focusing on, is what I'm going to be showing you guys right now. We're not going to go too into depth on it, but I'm going to give you guys a basic idea. So as you can see, I really like bag grows. There's a lot of reasons I like bag grows. Save space. You don't have to clean tubs. I think that you get more, especially if your genetics are tailored to grow in a bag. It's general everything. So when you have an isolation that's fruiting well in a bag, another thing that it's going to do that I've noticed is it's always going to fruit well in a tub. And something that fruits well in a tub isn't necessarily going to fruit well in a bag. In fact, that's not true at all. Sometimes it is true, but it's not necessarily true. So one thing that I think I should get out of the way is my first official grow in a B series unicorn grow bag was 2023 in July. Any posts that you see on my Instagram before that, I think that I started my Instagram in May or June, those were actually all-in-ones. I was experimenting. I knew nothing about grow bags. But I have been dealing with this creature for a very long time, and I actually used to religiously, before this spring, only run 66 quarts. Like, that was my thing. And I guess that I can easily change my mind because I gave these things a go, and I'm like, man, I'm never running a 66 quart again because these things are so amazing. And then I switched to using the 3B unicorn bag in July. A friend had given me the advice, you should just inoculate your grain separate, because there are problems that come with the all-in-ones. I'm not going to get into that. I know some people have been alkalizing the substrate before inoculation and they're having less problems with the pH dropping. But honestly, I can't really speak on that, and I can't bash it too much. I'm just saying, with my experience with the all-in-ones, a lot of times they go bad before they can finish colonizing. So, with that said, we will move on. What we're looking at here, let me clean my hands. What we're looking at here is what kind of inspired me to do this video. So I was working, and I was thinking, this is exactly what I'm going to be teaching. So, thought I'd make a quick video, and for those of you who didn't get to join the grow along, maybe this will inspire you to want to join next time. And yeah, so this is basically what we're going to be covering. Now, this is King Midas. This is a recreation of an old isolation that I used to have. I lost it because before I started vending, I would just play around, and I've had so many cool things that I've just lost. But recreating it, so this is from Spore, and this has been sitting there for a long time. But what you notice is right there at the bottom, you're starting to see hyphal knots. Now, the reason why this has been sitting with just these cuts for such a long time is because what we're doing in here, trying to fruit this isolation in here, isn't natural for the fungus. It isn't natural for the mycelium. So it's actually what it's doing is it's undergoing genetic changes because it wants to survive and it wants to fruit. So it's getting together all of its power and its strongest fruiting genetics, and it's kind of powering them all into that one spot right here. And you can see those hyphal that primordia forming, right? Finally, there's not really fruiting all over the plate at all, just right there. Versus, say, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to transfer, I'm going to cut that into little pieces, right? And if I can, I'm going to move one knot at a time to different plates. Or I'll put them, 1, 2, 3, 4, if I can. But those are pretty, actually I'll probably be able to grab one of those. If they were smaller and not growing, I'd probably just cut it up into a few sections, right? And then transfer it to a plate like this. Now, this is exactly, if you see these transfers, that's exactly what was happening with this plate. It wasn't fruiting. This is another project that I'm working on. I'm not going to speak too much about it. It wasn't fruiting from the multispore, so I had transferred, if you see, those hyphal knots growing on the top especially, right? And look at what happened. This thing's crazy, and I've taken a few clones off this. This thing's old. You can see it shrinking up and drying. This thing literally flushed like twice. It's crazy. Look how blue that one is right there. That would have been a good one to clone for potency, right? Anyway, so take 2 clones from this, and this is where I am now. Now, mind you, I have only cloned this culture once. And before it even grows out of the plate, off of the mushroom pins that I've transferred as clones, that it's already growing new mushrooms. Now this one, so I took two different clones from different parts of the plate to diversify the phenotypes I might find. Sometimes I'll have 4 on one plate, but I'm finding which one's going to fruit the best for my bag. So now, in the high CO2, low oxygen environment, that the mycelium, that the fungus has forced itself to produce these strong fruiting genetics so that it can pin and survive, is now pinning like crazy. Now this one, I can see has bigger fruits. This one, I can see has smaller fruits. But what else do I notice? Even though this one has smaller fruits, it's already forming primordia. Versus this one has bigger fruits and it's kind of fruiting primordia. So kind of gives me an idea of the way those 2 cultures are going to act. And I know that these are going to do great in bags. I don't even ever have to clone this thing past the 1st generation. These are going to be freaking monsters if I put them in bags. I know that for a fact. Just by looking at them, just by seeing the way that I've triggered the genetics to force these mushrooms out, right? So is what I'll do is I'll probably anyways go ahead and decide which one I want to go with. The bigger one that doesn't have as thick of a canopy, or the smaller one with the thicker canopy, right? If you guys know me, I'm probably going to go with the bigger one, and it's still going to give me big canopies. So that's basically exactly how you get your genetics to fruit well in a bag. At least for me. And like I said, as far as I know, this isn't verified. This is just me understanding the life form that we're dealing with, working with it for a long time, and just seeing the way that it acts. Like I said, I've only been growing in grow bags since July, but this just makes sense and it works. I mean, these things are awesome. Granted, when I was growing in 66 quart tubs, I would mod the tubs and neglect them. And there were certain things that I would do with a fan on a timer and different things to make sure they got enough air, but more often than not, they didn't have a lot of FAE. I don't like my mushrooms to need a lot to grow. So this last plate that I transferred it to is a low nutrient plate. Forcing them to grow on this low nutrient media and seeing them fruit fast like that, start fruiting before the plate's even done colonizing, man, you know that culture's fire. You know that it is. So I hope you guys enjoy the stuff that I've been releasing. I got, you know, super beginner stuff to super advanced stuff. Like I said, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a mycologist, I'm just a hobby guy who's been doing it a long time. But yeah, I appreciate everybody, I appreciate the support, I'm super stoked for the grow along. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. And if there's anything that anybody wants me to talk about specifically, besides like breeding and stuff, I'm not really going to do that in the public realm, just because there's a lot of controversy over a lot of different things. A lot of people would agree with me on things, and a lot of people would disagree with me on things. And I'm not here to argue, I'm here to make friends. So yeah, anything besides that you guys want me to touch on, go ahead and shoot me a DM or leave a comment, and I'll definitely consider it. But yeah, have a awesome weekend, guys. Much love to all of you.